Welcome to the AI Ireland podcast, your window into the world of AI innovation on the island of Ireland. Join us as we explore how AI is harnessed to tackle both business and societal challenges, revealing the cutting-edge solutions emerging from this vibrant AI community. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates and insights in the world of AI. We have another episode of the AI Ireland podcast, and whatever you are doing in the world today, thank you very much for joining us on the show. And we have kind of a practical application of AI today about how AI can be used, day to day within your job, maybe outside of your job as well. And we're going to talk about kind of demystifying some of the hype and some of the kind of practical applications. And to help us do that on the show, we have got Dajana Achelpohl, and she is the EMEA Head of Service Management at Google. Dajana, thank you very much for joining us on this episode today.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark.
So when everyone will think of AI and the leaders in this world, Google will definitely pop up into that category. Some of the fantastic work that they're doing and the models that they're bringing out there. But from a kind of a practicality kind of perspective, you're not necessarily coming from a technical aspect. You come from a kind of more of a business perspective. How do you and the team start to use some of these tools to help be more productive or maybe create a different type of mindset?
Sure. It's a great question. And while Google obviously is a very tech-heavy company, as you rightly said, I don't come from a technical background. Many business leaders don't. So it's the same really as it is for everyone else, right? You need to learn about this new thing. And I think we can all agree that there is a lot of hype about it. So I think learning more and really understanding what you can do with it is the first step. What I've been doing and what my team has been doing alongside me is really getting that baseline understanding. What can AI do for us? What can't it do for us? And how do we want to use it as well? So to me, it was very important to get that baseline understanding. That's even how does a large language model work? How can I get it to do what I want it to do? Prompting and the like. As I said, what can't it do? I really like that idea of generative AI as an enthusiastic intern, so somebody who wants to help you but might not be particularly good at it. So how can you make sure that whatever comes out is good quality and what you want? What information do you need to feed it? The whole concept of garbage in, garbage out. And then, of course, a set of rules, if you will. What data are we comfortable sharing with AI? What do we not use it for? What are sensitive areas? So to me, that was the first starting point before we ever got into actually doing anything with it.
And then you're kind of then looking at some of the business problems or work that you're looking to try to do, and then thinking, well, what could be a better way to integrate the technology as an enabler to improve this workflow, right? And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, because if it moves the needle forward in a way that your juice and squeeze, it plays out from a better productive way to do it. And is this your mindset in terms of business integration outcome, or have you got a certain kind of framework used to it, or does it depend on the situation?
It is situational, but the one thing that we always are trying to do is really start with the problem or the opportunity. What are we actually trying to solve? And then look at everything that's in our toolkit, right? Just because something is not fancy and new as Gen AI doesn't mean that it doesn't work anymore. So start with the problem, identify what's the best way to solve it. If Gen AI is the answer to it, then start small. So make sure that you can really identify very clearly what do you want to solve. And sometimes that can just be a part of the overall challenge that you have. And be very clear on what is your problem statement, what do you want to achieve. Because I think another issue with people using Gen AI is that they're using it, but they didn't really define at the beginning what good would look like or what the result is. And then it leaves you kind of unsure, is this working or not? But if you have something that's very clear, and happy to share an example here. My team, for example, does a lot of reporting out to other teams within the organization, we spend quite a lot of time pulling together information, putting it in a certain format, and then providing like a summary of what this actually all tells us. That is very time consuming because you need to go through all of these different places, format it, get the insights out of it. So it took about 4 hours per team member every time they had to do this, and they do this very regularly. By using Gen AI, and in this case, again, this is nothing fancy, right? But just using a good prompt, big fan of good prompts, we were actually able to really cut the time. So it took 4 hours before, now it takes 1 hour. And we had set the problem at the beginning. This currently takes us 4 hours of time. We want to reduce the amount of time that this takes our team. And we reduce that by 3 hours every time. So that's really tangible, where you can then say, hey, let's help.
And that's wonderful. And again, I'm probably working on the basis, though, that you guys got very good data, where a lot of companies are probably going to struggle to have kind of that access to clean data set that's fit, relevant, up to date. But again, once you do that, you're using the prompt, and also you can use AI to help you create the perfect prompt to then help you get the best outcome that you want. When you think of, when you think about bringing the team on the journey as well, because some people are going to be very, very enthusiastic about it. Some people are going to be kind of like, oh, I'm actually happy out doing what I'm doing at the moment. And then some people are going to be kind of on the other side of the fence completely and thinking, I ain't going near this from a different type of perspective. And the stats are showing us that over the last 6 months, depending on which research you read, up to 46% more people are using AI in their day-to-day business, probably without permission in some cases, depending on the company. So what's that been like as a journey working with different people who've got different kind of mindsets or kind of enthusiasm?
Yeah, we definitely have all of those three types that you're just describing there, and a few in between. I think it was important really to get everybody to the same baseline level. So let's say the very enthusiastic folks that are using it for everything. I actually recall one of my team members who was such a fan that they used it for every single email that they were sending, which basically resulted in them sounding a bit like a robot. So there's also an element where you really need to reel in the people that are using it a lot. Then the people in the middle who were kind of on the fence, had maybe experimented a bit, I found that they just didn't get the results that they were looking for. So they weren't overly keen on trying it again. And then the last group, people that are more worried about it, because there's obviously a lot of worry, right? Will this replace me? If AI can do this, why do you still need me? So I think all of these three groups, you need to get to the same level of understanding. Why do we want to do this? If we think of this as a productivity tool and as something that can do actually the parts of your job that you don't particularly enjoy, the admin heavy stuff, the things that actually don't require much thinking, if we can free up your time by doing this via AI, then you can do so much more interesting things that you want to do more of. So this is not about replacing you. This is about giving you this powerful tool to do more interesting and better work. And once you have that understanding with everyone, then people can actually make a choice that they want to be part of it. And I think that element of people not wanting to do that more boring work anymore is a really great selling point. And then the second one is people want to learn about AI. They know that this is coming and that this is going to be a crucial skill about them. So I found that got a lot of buy-in from the group. And so then once we had everybody at that level where they're saying, I understand why you want to do this and I understand what's in it for me, then we could start with getting the knowledge there and really teaching people how to use it.
Yeah, and the thing when you go on that journey is once you play around and see what it's like and you maybe benchmark against maybe different products, you can have a decision to say, I'm going to continue using it or I'm not going to continue using. And I actually think whatever you do, fine. But you can't then complain if your colleagues are getting promoted or your work is taking longer or the expectation is you need to do more, the bar is raised. because you're stuck your head in the sand. Now, you still know all that and you still decide, that's absolutely fine. Where I worry is the people that don't go on the journey to figuring out what's involved and then you just outright say, I'm not using it. I worry that they're going to be left behind and they're going to feel kind of out of sync, right? So it's a really, really big issue. And I think dexterity is important, but I feel having the mindset to go on this journey is important, but also having the culture to allow people to take those baby steps and to go on that journey. So you talked about reporting, which is good. Are you doing kind of like content creation? Are you doing kind of like summarization of maybe content commentary or things like this? What other aspects have you been able to use it for?
All of them, actually. I found that once you have the team with you on the journey, they are enthusiastic about doing it. The best ideas for what to use it for actually come from the team, right? They are the subject matter experts. They are living this every day, and they find the good use cases then. So we have this best practice session concept where we all come together and people then say, hey, I'm using AI for this, and this is what it does for me. And then other team members will chime in and say, oh, great, this is how we could even make this better. And it really spans all of the things which you just talked about. One other thing that my team does a lot of is presentations to various stakeholders, which again is another very time-consuming thing to do. We had one of our enthusiastic early adopters come in, show the team, hey, this is what I do. And they were all amazed, right? This is going to save them all so much time and ultimately make the outcome better, because now they don't have to waste the time on just doing the basic work of pulling it together. Now they can spend the time on the insights. So I think it's really great to get the team on board there to come up with those use cases.
Yeah, because you feel kind of revitalized that you're spending time on your best work. But don't get me wrong, there is a nice familiarity of doing the kind of grunt work just in terms of getting your head into space and just trying to feel you're organized. And everyone likes a little bit of that, right? But it's trying to get closer to what gives you the most energy and whatever, depending on what role that is or your value system, it will do. But I really see the opportunity of enlightening different perspectives, but also kind of thinking and actually reimagining what my role is and reimagining the org structure or reimagining the benefits we can now give employee experience or customer experience too. Because some of the companies that just say, right, we're not using it, no, 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 no. The real world is not like that because employees have got this experience where they're watching Netflix. They probably will order an Uber. They'll probably get Uber Eats later on. They're maybe buying a purchase on Amazon Zalando. Then they come into an environment that is archaic and they've gone from digitally native to pushing paper and they're thinking, I'm out of here. You know, like why have I got different experience? So it's trying to have that balance as well.
Absolutely. And I think if you work in an environment where certain AI tools are banned, you don't have access to it at work. We know that people will bring this in anywhere in their pocket, on their phone, right? I think it's well documented that people use AI via their phone at work, that they use tools that are not sanctioned by their company, and that a lot of them actually have never been told how to use them, right? They actually don't have the knowledge. So I think that can be really dangerous. To have that going on. So I think everybody should really take the time to, first of all, educate themselves. I think you need to know what you're talking about. And there's so many great ways to do that at the moment. There's like free content all over the place. The Google stuff's not half bad, if I can plug that here. And once you have that knowledge, right, then you can have that conversation with your team and say, hey, this is what you can use, this is what you cannot use, this is how you should use it, this is where you need to be careful. There's hallucinations, this output is only ever be as good as whatever you put into it, etc. Right? So I think that is a much more positive way to handle this versus putting your head in the sand and just hoping that this will go away, because I don't think it will. I think it's here to stay.
I think the genie's out of the bottle, and the EU AI Act is also, people don't know, the last 6 months the expectation is people are trained on AI. So,
Yes.
and again, that's going to be like, what? So there's a lot in that too. So, it's been great speaking with you. Dajana Achelpohl, EMEA Head of Service Management at Google. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Mark.
On the 26th of November, join us for the 6th Annual AI Awards at the Marco Hotel in Dublin. This year's event promises to be our largest and most impressive yet, with over 300 community members in attendance and over 48 applications of AI in action. This truly is an incredible world-class event, and we are inviting you to this event. Experience the excitement live, because we're going to be capturing this with a world-class film crew, and it's going to be streamed online. However, if you want to join us in person, book your table now, because opportunities are limited. If you're interested in sponsoring this year's awards, please contact me at Mark@AI Awards for more information and see the best in class of AI applications on the island of Ireland.